Hey everyone, in today's video, we would be looking at what is machine learning. So I guess you must have heard the term machine learning from somewhere, but today we would be discussing what it really means in very simple terms. So let's first see the formal definition. According to Tom Mitchell, machine learning is the study of computer algorithms that allow computer programs to automatically improve through experience. That is, it allows computer programs to automatically improve through experience. Experience could be past data. According to Andrew Ng, machine learning is the science of getting computers to act without being explicitly programmed. That is, computer can act on different tasks without being given a set of rules. So if we see an AI algorithm or AI, there are two most important things to see. One is what is learning, the other is what is this past data. Till now, we have seen that to understand machine learning, we need to know about two things. One is data, the other one is learning. So let's see what is past data. Past data or historic data refers to all the data generated and collected by past events. So based on the past events, this data is generated and then collected. Now let's see what kind of events are we talking about. We have so many personal devices. So we have laptops, tablets, mobiles, and desktops. All these devices, whatever work we do, that could be clubbed as past events, and all data that is generated is collected for future use. Now we have so many social media platforms like YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and so many. These all platforms generate enormous amount of data and that can be collected for future use. If we talk about financial data and if we consider just for one day, all the transactions to predict something new. The second important aspect to understand machine learning is learning. So let's see what is learning. It is a process of finding a function that provides best mapping from inputs to outputs. So let's see it in the diagram. So if this is the data, this data is supplied to the AI. So AI, we are talking about it as AI, but it could be AI algorithm. So this data is supplied to the AI algorithm as inputs. And this AI algorithm in turn helps us find a mapping function. This mapping function helps us in finding the output. Now, let's understand what is a mapping function. To understand a mapping function, let's consider x and y. Let's consider x as inputs and y as outputs. So mapping function is just a mapping from the x column to the y column. What does that mean? That whenever a value from an x column is supplied to the mapping function, it returns the corresponding value from the y column. Now let's visualize the mapping function. This is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. So if we have the x and y-axis, these are the points marked on the axis. If we take any point, this point corresponds to approximately this should be 2.8 and approximately this should be around 0.8. Now if this is clear, let's consider, for simplicity, let's consider a linear function. So for now, if we are thinking that our mapping function is a linear function, so let's draw a straight line. So our mapping function could be in a form like this, it could be like this, or it could be like this. Now there are so many different options for a single mapping function for a given set of points. Which mapping function should we pick? That we can actually see in later videos. But today we would be focusing on what the mapping function is actually doing. So let's consider only one line here. So if this is the mapping function we have, what is it doing? Now based on the mapping function, as soon as I pass this point, so if suppose I'm passing this point and giving this to my AI, so let's see this point is approximately 0.7. So if I give 0.7 to my AI, it automatically outputs a value corresponding to this, and this is around 1.2. So as soon as I give the point 0.7 to my mapping function, it outputs 1.2. Now let's see for a different point. So now this is the point here, and if I say this is around 1.4, so if I'm giving 1.4 to my AI, it is saying the output value should be around, if suppose this is 2.3 approximately, so the output value should be 2.3. So this is what the mapping function is actually doing, and we can just say that this linear equation or this line fx represents our mapping function. Now let's see what we learned in this video so far. So based on the past data that we passed to our AI helps in finding the mapping function. Now let's see how do we use the mapping function. Now this is the data. This can be unseen data or new data. This is passed to the mapping function, and mapping function helps us output some values. This outputted value could also be known as predictions. I'm hoping it was easy to understand. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, or the website. Also, for any queries or doubts, you can see the doubt link in the description.